This episode of World Talk contains mature themes for mature audiences only. The opinions expressed by the guest and host are our own and don't represent any business or organization. Faustino. I'll redo this. Erick Faustino. That's it. All right, cool. Hello and welcome to World Talk, a show where we talk about anything and everything world-related. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, Erick Faustino. Erick, welcome to the show.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Anytime, Erick. Erick, I start the show off every way the same way, which is tell us where you're from and describe it in 3 words.
Well, my name is Erick. I'm originally from the Philippines.
What part of the Philippines?
I was born in Makati, and then I grew up in Mabalacat, Pampanga.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where is that?
That's like...
Give us a little geography lesson.
That's like Luzon, around like the biggest continent.
The biggest continent?
Yeah, it's like up north, like, you know. Yeah.
How many islands does the Philippines have?
Bro. Almost the same amount of people here.
About 70,000 islands?
No.
That would be nuts.
Nah, that's crazy. Probably around, I would say like maybe 6,000 to 8,000
Islands.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So all I know about the Philippines is Manila. So where in relation to Manila are you from?
So Makati is Manila. It's like the center, is like the big city. But whereas like the other place, which is Pampanga, is like it's a bit south. So it's just like outside of the city.
All right.
You know, it's a bit more a rural area, but it's like probably 40 to an hour away from Makati.
Cool.
Yeah.
And describe it in 3 words.
Peaceful, traditional, and green.
A lot of forests?
There's a lot of trees like everywhere. It's almost like ever been to like a big city where they have like a bunch of trees, and then sometimes like the trees like cover the street, like sky view. It's almost like a canopy where it's like
Central Park-ish?
It's, basically Central Park.
All right. So, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a bunch of trees. It's almost like every street. Like, so imagine like Cayman, but like for every traffic cone is like a tree. So it's like, it's very like, there's a lot of shrubbery, there's a lot of green.
That's nice.
It's green, and then the trunks of the trees are like black. With almost like a black algae or like a moss type look. So it's a very dark
That's very cool. It's very cool. Is there anything special about your region?
I would say Makati's usually the most like advanced. It's the most advanced place in the Philippines, where it's like... so
is that... Would you consider that like the capital then?
It's close to the capital. It's like Metro Manila. Makati, Metro Manila.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in Canada, they have the Greater Toronto Area. Is it similar to that? Where you have like little... like other cities close by to the main city that just make up this big metropolitan area where a lot of people live. All right.
Yeah. It's very advanced. I have a lot of family members that are into like the medical field, so it's like, it's very advanced. There's a lot of like, for example, I would say like Filipinos and even Americans per se they like to go to the Philippines to get medical procedures done because like they save money.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's economically it's a good choice.
All right.
To have.
So I take it there's like a good like medical school.
It's very good. It's a very good medical world there. Like, we're very advanced in a lot of ways.
So if we can compare, as you see in Cayman, we have Health City, which brings in people within the region to Cayman, especially for heart-related illnesses and whatnot for treatment because we're so specialized. could you say it's something maybe not heart related, but are you guys well known regionally that people from the other Southeast Asian countries come there for their medical treatment?
I guess like in terms of specialization, I think when it comes to like the Philippines, I guess because of like the population density and how competitive it is there, like it makes like everyone like above average or even greater compared to like a lot of people, because like what I've learned, what I felt like when I was in Asia, when I was in the Philippines, is like you're not really like an individual. I feel like you're just like a number. You know, like thank God I was homeschooled by my parents. My mom, but she was a former psychologist, so I was homeschooled for a bit, and I was on top of my class. I used to go to this place called Montessori of St. Nicholas. It was like a Catholic school, but like each class had like 2,000 to 3,000 kids.
Jeez and peas.
Yeah. So the first few years, which is like pre-K and then like to year one or so, like I ranked first like all the time.
Nice.
But it was like you almost felt like a drop of prestige, like because I think after my parents left, because my mom wasn't really hands-on anymore, because she went to Cayman.
Oh, okay.
She went to Cayman like after finding a job here, because my family started coming to Cayman after.
So hold on, I think there's a bit of a disconnect. You're homeschooled, but you get graded in the school system?
No. So I was homeschooled first, right?
Oh, okay.
But then I was integrated into the
to the school system.
To the school system.
And in the school system, you were hitting number one.
Yeah.
I get you. I get you. All right, sorry, continue.
Yeah, but yeah, like so circling back around this is like the reason why I say this is like it's almost like you don't have a choice in Asia, in the Philippines, because it's like you're just like a number, and if you fail or like you're not like like prestige is there, like rankings, societal ranking is there. So it's like if you're a number one doctor, you made it, like you're there, you're up there, like you're almost like a celebrity, because when it comes to medical procedures and even like a plastic surgery and all that type of stuff, like Hollywood is really into that, like in the Philippines. Like they call it showbiz. So showbiz is really into that. So like they even highlight doctors. Like let's say they have like a criminal case, or let's say they have like a case concerning like a celebrity. They would have like a doctor there, like stating and proving the facts and whatever. There's not much politics when it comes to things like that. Asians tend to value like facts and science more, so it's like it's always backed up by like someone or like something. So yeah, it's you could definitely tell like a S rank doctor versus like an A rank doctor and then a B rank doctor, and the pay reflects that. Dang. Despite of how like hard life is there, the pay reflects that for sure. Like yeah.
So you said your mother was a psychologist?
Yeah, she was a former psychologist.
Psychologist.
Yeah.
So you were born in the Philippines. How long were you living in the Philippines for until your family started to move to the Cayman Islands?
5.
I
came here originally first as a tourist to check it out.
Nice.
I like how clean Cayman was.
What year is this? Just so we have a reference.
2000 and I would say 2000 and 2000.
Oh.
2000.
Right after Y2K.
Yeah.
The world was supposed to end.
Yeah.
And you went on vacation.
Went on vacation to Cayman.
Hell yeah.
Lost my Filipino accent after 2 weeks.
Of being on vacation?
Yeah, being on vacation. I said to myself, yo, I am not going to be bullied here. I swear to God. But now it's weird because like I really don't have like a Caymanian accent. Like I kind of trained myself then. Like I guess when yeah, after I started going, I went to True for You, then I went to Triple C, then I just developed this accent where it's like, okay, I want to be a NoWherian. It's like I don't want to belong to nowhere.
You want to
know?
be
like,
a man without a country.
Yeah, so I just decided to just like adopt this.
Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit. Why did your parents want to move to the Cayman Islands, especially in the year 2000?
Yeah, so my aunt, she got a job here at a Chinese restaurant. I think it's called Grand Pergola or something like that.
Golden Pagoda?
Golden, yeah. It was that one, yeah.
You know what's funny?
What?
That's my aunt's family owned that.
No way. Cayman is way too small.
Cayman is way too small.
Cayman is way too small.
That's badass.
So yeah, my aunt Lisa, that's why she makes banger like egg rolls.
Hell yeah.
Like she learned all those skills of cooking and whatever there. So every time we have like family events, like she would cook bomb ass food. But anyways, like she got a job there first, and then like they saw, because the Cayman dollar is strong, right? It's like compared to like life in the Philippines is hard, but the Cayman dollar is strong, and then like my aunt just decided to like come here for like opportunities.
Absolutely. Could you describe what life is like in the Philippines? Because one thing about Cayman is we have a lot of Filipinos living here, but they come here not for the beaches, but because it's a great way for them to help their family back home. So could you talk about what life is like? Because maybe your experience is different from others.
Yeah. I would say my story would describe like a typical, like they call it OFW, which is overseas Filipino worker.
All right.
They have like a classification for that in my country to talk about like people that like immigrate to other places. So I would say life in the Philippines was much more simple. Very simple. It's almost like, okay, I just came from New York. It's basically like an Asian New York.
All right.
Yeah, but a lot more poverty, I would say. So it was like that, very hectic, very like, it was New York but third world. You know, there's a bunch of tricycles and jeepneys like all over the place. Poverty all over the place, like, but street food like everywhere. Like, you know, people roasting pigs, people roasting chickens. You know, not dog though. We don't eat dog. We don't eat dog now. But yeah, it's like much more busy. Yeah, people just trying to survive. And I think like culturally, I think Filipinos bring that here. Whereas like, you know, when like other different expats come to Cayman, they try to find like, you know, like extracurricular activities. Like they do things like, you know, let's say jet skiing and, you know, like skydiving. I don't know what pickleball. You know, all this type of thing. But you know, like Filipinos, which I really like about them is like they lock in. They lock in. So they bring that type of mentality here where it's like work. Of course, balance is like important, right? But you know,
well, that's what Sundays are for.
Yeah.
And I bring up that because that's when I see a lot of Filipinos at like Smith Barkadeer, you know, chilling. But it's not just like a group of them. It's like 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
You know, and they bring food, like they cook for each other. You know, they'll pitch in money, buy a case of beer for each other. I think that's beautiful, really, that sense of community.
Yeah, they uplift each other for sure. It's like, you know.
Can you talk about that? I think that's something I admire about the Filipino community. How you can be from wherever, like there's so many islands, right? But you guarantee when you move here, someone's gonna know something. Oh, you're from over there. You know, I feel like maybe this is just an outsider perspective, but I feel like if you're a Filipino and you come to Cayman, I feel like the community will help you. They will go out of their way to give you like, oh, check this person out for renting an apartment. You know, I can give you a ride to work. You're on my route, sort of thing. Instead of like, well, shit, it sucks to be you. You know.
This is kind of fun. Yeah, like listen.
But this is an outsider looking in.
You're correct. You're correct, right? It's almost like a good example would be like you know what people say about like Jews.
Yeah.
like Jewish people, like in their community, it's like the money cycles like multiple times because they uplift almost everyone in their community,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what you do. Like the money never leaves their community,
No,
so
it stays in.
they stays in. It's almost like that. When it comes to like, for example, like there's a lot of Filipinos work in hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say I'm with like someone, let's say like I'm on a date with a girl or something,
Mm.
and then I see like the waiter is Filipino. I just look at him, you know, it's just I have a big smile on my face, just smirk,
Yeah.
because I know I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna get something like for free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get like, you know, like a dessert or like a side or like a discount. I'm gonna get something. Whereas
Even if you don't know each other.
even if we don't know each other, it's the fact that we're Filipinos. It's like that's it's not even like a name thing. Like
Hold on. Do you guys give each other the nod? Like a
No.
nod? Because like, all right.
No, it's not even a nod. It's not a nod. It's like a reverse. What do you call this?
Yeah. So what I was about to say, as an Austrian, especially a black Austrian, there's not too many of us out there.
You're
So
Austrian?
Yeah. We'll get into that. But when I see another black person in Austria, I give them the nod, like,
Yeah.
it's only us, brother. But I know you're out there.
Yeah. You could relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
I don't
it's-
expect him to hook me up at the restaurant, but I guess we just know that, hey, we're in this country that may not be too favorable to us, but we know we're out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Filipinos like they're very warm like with each other for sure.
That's
like
cool.
you know like inversely I would be doing the same thing as well. It's like, you know, let's say like a Filipino decides to like work with us, like, you know, like I do construction.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, we'll definitely give them a good deal, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a bias type thing, but it's like, okay, like cool. It's like it's almost weird, like if you change the settings, like I guess I can't talk for all Filipinos, but think about it this way. Let's say I was in America, right? And I see another Caymanian.
Yeah.
I'll give the Aboriginal a discount, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it is, but like Filipinos like in Cayman.
I think that's cool. Is that a cultural thing? Because one thing about the Caribbean, there's a lot of like insecurities and like crabs in the bucket mentalities. But when I see the Filipino community, I don't get that sense at all. Like, why should we bring down our fellow man? Like, he's a good guy.
Okay.
Let's give him a shot, you know? Like, he'll hang out. He'll cook the rice, you know?
Oh man. But yeah, like okay, this is a really fun topic. I really like this. So the thing is with Filipinos, right? Filipinos stick with each other. They're very warm. They're very friendly. They're very nice. They stick with each other. But the thing, most like I guess in terms of all of Asia, I think Filipinos are the most friendliest for sure. And I guess a part of it would be it's because English is our second language. So it's like even though we don't speak English properly, like we're not good at English, we do understand. We do attempt, and we do try to connect with other countries that speak English, right?
Right.
Whereas other Asian countries are very harsh, they're very cold, they're very, you know, sharp
Yeah.
with their tongues.
Ask the Hong Kongers about the Chinese.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You want to talk about beef?
Boy, chicken and pork too, bro. Like they have all types of beef there. But it's like what's funny about that is like so Asians hate each other. So here to start. Yeah. So like think about it this way, right? It's almost like reverse racism where it's like I might get canceled for this, whatever. It's almost like reverse racism. Like for example, like a lot of times, like let's say when you look at, let's say you're a certain type of race and then you look outside. Let's use me for an example so I won't get canceled, right?
Right.
So it's like a lot of like Caymanians think all Asians look the same.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of like Filipinos think all Caymanians look the same, and it's simply not true.
Yeah.
Right? It's simply not true. Like especially like different people in the Caribbean as well. Like it's simply not true, but it's like when like you won't believe this, but like Asians have like very distinctive like physical like facial features and like the way they talk and the way they move, they're very different. And this explains why, like for example, if you call like a Chinese person Japanese, they'll look at you like you're racist. Like, why are you calling me? Why are you calling me like a different race? Like you're racist. I mean, like they missed the dartboard a little bit, but it's like they, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the show King of the Hill? There's a scene where
Hank.
With Hank, and I forget his neighbor, but his neighbor's from Laos.
Oh my god.
And he's Laotian, and he's explaining to Hank and his friend, "I'm from Laos. I'm Laotian," and they go, "So you're Chinese or Japanese?"
It's funny. It really is funny. Like, it's hilarious.
Is it because of that stigmatization towards Asians that there's that self-hatred? Or not so much self-hatred, but like, listen, we're Chinese, we're not Japanese, or like, don't call me Korean, I'm Japanese. Like, do you think that stems from Westerners going, which one are you again?
I think it's because Asians are very territorial, I would say. We're like, okay. In terms of...
Well, ask China about Taiwan. You want to talk about territorial?
Bro, it's nuts up there. But a good metaphor would be like, because of population density, Asians are like ants, right? But then like you can't mix black sugar ants with like fire ants. They'll fight. It's almost like that. And it's like because of how big Asia is. For example, there's a lot of beef when it comes to like China. China is literally sucking the life out of like the Philippine Sea, out of resources, for example.
Like fishing.
They're using nets.
Ooh.
We
can talk about this.
They're using nets.
Yeah.
The size of like a football field type thing. Miles, like sometimes miles long.
Just
they're ravaging like the sea floor, and they're sucking every single life form out there and whatever, taking all the fish and whatever.
I've been seeing reports that like Philippines and the U.S. Navy are like reestablishing ties. Is that to get China out of the Filipino Sea?
It's crazy, man, because it's like these people like it's modern day pirates, bro. It's like they're telling them you can't do this, you can't stop. It's like a warship. Like the Chinese people's like, you can't tell us what to do. Like like or just ignore the Philippines, because like the Philippines can't touch the Chinese people.
But also like economies. Like how many Filipinos are there in the world? I mean, there's 1.3 billion Chinese.
Yeah.
And also Chinese economy is, as of today, 17th of September 2024, China is on track to overtake the U.S. economy. What will happen tomorrow? Who knows? But as of right now, the Chinese economy is massive.
They're very good with money. Filipinos, they just like to have fun, It's like, karaoke on Fridays, like getting drunk and everything, right? Like
Chinese people don't get drunk on a Friday?
No, it's not that, but
Invest
rather
in index funds.
Okay, it's almost like it's weird, because it's like how do I describe this? Like Chinese people are really grinders. They're really grinders when they're on top of their game and everything. But it goes to show like it's almost like a bigger Philippines. Like remember what I said about like, oh, if you're not at the top, you're just a number. You're not even a name. You're just a number, bro. You're just a number. Imagine that, but in an extreme sense of the way where it's like the population density is like what, like 100 or even 200 times as much as like what I've experienced in the Philippines. Imagine that.
I think just to give an idea of China's population, I think there's more fans of NBA in China than the U.S. has in people.
It's crazy, and that's why culturally they're so cutthroat and like they don't feel, I would say like they don't feel. It's just a number. People are just numbers.
And China wasn't like the U.S. China, in the last 50 years, came out of deep poverty. You had Chairman Mao, who starved the country, but coming out of that, and then I think was it Bill Clinton or someone, when they started easing like business relationships with China, and then as of recent, China has definitely become more Americanized in like capitalism. Yeah. So do you think I say all that to say, like, do you think that in the back of like the Chinese mind it's like, man, I remember, you know, being poor and now I can be rich, so I don't want to go back to being poor? Or like granddad, he was poor and he would tell me like how the rice field sucked, but now, like, you know, I have this opportunity to like start a little factory, go on Alibaba, ship my little goods to some guy in Portland, you know? Because it wasn't a wealth. It was once a wealthy nation, but then went into deep poverty, and now is on its way out of. Well, it's been out of poverty for now, but I feel like China's just on this momentum to be number one in the world. Yeah.
Because like even in the Philippines, I'll tell you this, like we're having issues with like other Asian countries like taking over and buying like a lot of land and everything.
Really?
Yes, like because like I said, when I said it in jest when I said like Filipinos aren't good with money, but it's like other Asian countries are buying out like the Philippines.
What about the Philippines is attractive to regional investors?
I would say geographical location would be good because we're very close to like Australia, for example. A lot of money is there. New Zealand, Switzerland, we're almost like in the middle there. You know, we have U.S. ties.
Yes, you do.
Because in terms of the military and I guess like Americans also like our women, so it's like, you know, there's a lot of relations there. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying how it is, you know. But yeah, it is basically like that, and it's like, oh, what I like to tell people is like, the Philippines is very similar to Jamaica, and they have, even though they're so like far away from each other, culturally it's almost the same, and also being in Jamaica and also being in the Philippines, I could attest to that. And also they're having the same problems as well. Whereas like, you know, there's a lot of Chinese people taking over Jamaica as well.
Building them beautiful highways.
Beautiful highways. Like when you look at the highways, you'll see like you know, like Chinese signs and all that type of stuff, you know, like not Chinese signs, but Chinese like
little symbols and
like
whatnot.
symbols and everything. And China's doing the same thing to the Philippines. Like the governments are like the big people, like, hey, we're gonna lend you money.
What do you think about that? What do you think about China's One Belt, One Road initiative, but also to give these countries massive loans to like build stuff, and if they can't repay them back, it's like, well, dog, guess what? I'm taking this. What do you think about all that?
It's very smart. It's very smart. Like it's no different from like any type of bank. China is a bank, and like going back when I went to Jamaica for a bit, I was talking to a bunch of locals and they were telling me, yeah, like, you know, China gave the government this certain amount of money to build like a bridge, but they're gonna toll anyone that crosses that bridge till the end of time, or something along those lines. If I can't really correctly remember, but around those lines, it's like they're gonna be. The toll is going to be active for 300 years. Like something like that.
And
you know?
Greta Thunberg's telling us the world's going to end in the next decade or so. And China's like, nah, keep them tolls open.
Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Just a propaganda machine.
We'll definitely get into propaganda machines.
She's nuts. But no, she's not nuts. She's a child. An exploited child. But yeah, like Jamaica is very similar to, I would say, like the Philippines.
Do you think that comes from like the geography? Because Jamaica has mountains and right next to the beach. And,
yes,
and the Philippines has
actually
mountains.
Yes, that's a very accurate assessment. I don't want to pull out my phone, but like I think like if you look at the equator, I think like, you know, it's almost like a similar placement, like Jamaica and also the Philippines, similar placement.
So similar weather.
Yeah, I would say so.
Are you big into farming over there?
We're huge into farming.
There you have it. Jamaicans love their farming.
Philippine mangoes.
Boom.
Famous Filipino mangoes, pineapples and stuff like that. I'm telling you, bro. Like Jamaica is so similar to the Philippines, and being in Cayman, being like being like in a non-biased country, I would say Filipinos and Jamaicans get along very well. Sometimes they fight, but they get along very well.
Well, who doesn't fight?
Yeah, who doesn't fight?
Yeah,
everyone fights.
Everyone fights.
Brothers fight.
Exactly.
Like
siblings, families,
friends fight.
Yeah.
You know, like
but for the most part,
fights.
you find them quite. They can coexist.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's a big difference though from what I've experienced, because like we have a construction company, so I see this firsthand where it's like we have Filipino workers, also Jamaican workers. So this is one thing that Jamaicans are really good at, right? They'll tell you, yo, can you cuss in here?
Yeah,
no.
go ahead.
They'll be like, yo, suck your mother, all this type of like Jamaican to Jamaican fighting. Yo, suck your mother, do this, do that, blah blah blah. Yo, I'm gonna kill you, all this type of thing, right?
Batty boy.
Yeah, all that type of talk, right? And then like 40 minutes later, they're okay. Like they're good. Like tomorrow, yo, morning, you good? Yeah, man. You're just cooling it, just chilling. Whereas Filipinos, right? If you tell a Filipino to like suck their mother or be disrespectful or anything like that, this man isn't gonna talk to you for 3 to 6 months. Silent treatment all the way through. This man, I've seen it firsthand. Like I had a Filipino worker, and then he was like, like very emotional. He was in a very emotional state because of what happened, and it's like, the guy's like, the Jamaican guy, yo, relax, man, relax.
Yeah, he's already over it.
Yeah. So that's the difference, right? And it's like, even in my interpersonal life, I guess like an extension to Jamaica to like the Caribbean is like if people fight in Cayman, it's like a whatever thing. It's like the next day they cool, like they good and whatever. Like, but it's like, let's say I'm dealing with my parents. Let's say me and them fight. Like for me, like I look like an asshole. Where it's like I'm just like whatever. Like the next day, whereas them, it's like they're not going to talk to me but since they're almost domesticated because of Cayman standards, they're not going to talk to me for maybe like, I would say 2-3 weeks, not like 3 to 6 months. But it's still there. The Asian sensitivity is still there, but it's not a negative sensitivity where it's like it's not negative, but it's almost like a cultural thing. Where it's like, you see like K-dramas and whatever, like development of the plot is like the girl touching the guy's hand. And it's like, oh, like music with hearts and flowers like coming through and whatever. That's the development of the plot. Where it's like, whereas when you see like Western movies and whatever, like, like any chick flick you could think about, like the girl's trying to find love, bam, like the first night she hooks up with the wrong guy.
Type of deal, and there's
type
no
of deal,
and there's
it's
no
like,
hearts.
She's like, like
and soft music.
I did it again, and like let me rush to my corporate job, and like try to find the right guy, and like girl scene where it's like, oh, like I did it again, I messed up. Oh, you gotta stop doing that. Blah 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 blah. It's like, that's the plot in that side of the world, but it's different in other parts for sure.
Well, I don't know what it is about them Asian dramas, but they really emphasize the drama. They extract that drama like oil, dog.
Yeah, they mastered cliffhangers. That's what it is. It's like, there's so much is going on. It's like so much is going on. It's usually like a girl in poverty, right? A girl in poverty falls in love with like this guy, like this mysterious guy, but this mysterious guy's family is worth like, he's like, what do they say? Oh, this guy is the third, his family is the third richest family in like Korea or something like that, something massive, right?
Yeah,
something huge. And then bam, like they have like another company fighting them, and like they get into like a love triangle, and then the other guy is like, oh, he's from the richest family like in Korea. then bam, like they're arguing, and then bam, like the grandmother has a stroke, and like all that happens, and the suspense and whatever, and then they're arguing again, and then they cross the road, but then they have the slow motion like pickup truck coming, and it's like, oh, like 6 different like perception and angle shots, and like bam, like the main character gets hit and gets hospitalized,
And everything, and what I love about it is all these shows have subtitles, right? So all this is happening, and people are just nonstop reading, like, oh my god, what's happening? They really hook you.
Yeah. Do you watch?
No, I don't watch, but
But do you watch like shows with like subtitles?
I have. I watch English shows with subtitles.
Oh, really?
That's just me.
You're a reader?
Yeah, sometimes. It all depends. But I used to date a girl from Macau, and she put me on them South Korean dramas, and I just watched them like, what the fuck is this? But hey, if you're into it, baby, sure.
Macau is Asia, right?
Yes, it is. It is the Las Vegas of Asia.
The Las Vegas of Asia.
Yeah, that's where all the casinos are.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. That was
I was gonna say welcome to the family.
Hell yeah. Well, that was 18-year-old Philip.
Oh, 18. Welcome to the yeah. You're still family.
Yeah, man. Listen, I love Asia. It's a different world. I remember driving through China when I was 18, and I was looking at all these buildings, and I was like, oh, dang, like this is what a big intense population is like. 80 feet in the air, just all these buildings, and even taller. And it's like they're just loaded with people. It's like, dang. Coming from a small island and going to Asia is one of the biggest culture shocks I think anyone. Man, I think the biggest culture shock in the world is if you were from the BRAC, and then that's all you knew is the BRAC, and then they threw you in like Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I think that would be
the city would like.
It would shock you. It would fry you.
Yeah, it's
the height of the buildings, the noise,
It's very overwhelming. Yeah,
it can be. Yeah,
like I was in New York, like I would say, like 2 weeks ago with friends.
Yeah, good guy.
Friends. Yeah. I went to the anime con, and it's like,
how was that?
It was amazing, bro. It was fantastic.
What about it?
Life changing.
What about it changed your life? Because you go to the gym. I thought the gym would change your life.
Yeah, the gym changes my life for sure. But it's like the gym. The gym, you have like a love and hate relationship with the gym, but at the same time, it's like, for the anime con, it's crazy because it's like everything. Like if you're into anime, everything you see on your feed, let's say on Instagram or like social media, it's there at the con. It's almost like stepping into like an anime Instagram account and seeing like everything there, the pictures, the cosplay, the merch, the shows, the voice actors, the food, the vibe, like people hyping up and everything. Like the anime people literally took over like Koreatown. When we went to Koreatown, like we had Jujutsu Kaisen like characters like twerking, like not like Sukunas and like Mojitos like twerking, like girls like twerking. Like it's nuts. It's crazy. It's almost like how do I say this? It's like a portal to Japan, basically. And when you go there, it's like everything is like they have Japanese food, bro. They have Japanese people.
Yeah.
They have like people that travel around all over the world. Like I've met influencers as well. Like it's crazy because it's like it's so different if you're like just viewing them on a screen versus like an actual person. Like people have like people have like depth, like facial depth. Like when you're looking at them, it's like, oh, this person isn't just flat. This person has depth. Like it's crazy.
I get it. I went to Tampa Pro skate contest this year with my friends, and like a lot of the skaters that I would like look at and whatnot, I always thought they were like huge dudes, right? But when I met them, I was like, dude, I'm taller than like all of you, And then what's cool is like I met them all at the bar, and I could like talk to these dudes, and it was cool to like, yo, you're a human.
Yeah, exactly.
You're actually cool.
Exactly. They're not just like a concept or idea.
No, they
like how they present themselves like on Instagram or whatever is like they're a concept.
Right.
They're almost like playing someone, especially the cosplayers. They're literally playing someone. That's what they're doing for a living. They're dressing up as like characters, right? But they're people.
Yeah, I think we forget that on social media.
Yeah, we definitely forget that.
So what were your before we get onto social media? What were your main takeaways from the anime convention? It changed your life.
It did actually. Anything. It made me realize that anything is possible if you work like towards it. Like anything is possible. Like it as a, it we this trip, like the anime trip, started off as like an idea.
Yeah.
I just pushed it out there as like a crazy idea. I said, "Yo, guys, let's go to New York and let's go to an anime con."
Yeah, that's one way flight. Shout out Cayman Airways.
Yeah, and I should have flew with like Cayman Airways because my flight was delayed for 30 hours with like JetBlue
Because you didn't use Cayman Airways.
because I didn't use Cayman Airways. Shout out to Cayman Airways.
Shout out Cayman Airways.
That turtle protects you.
Sir
in
Turtle.
skies, Sir Turtle. I should have used my Sir Turtle miles.
Yeah.
Sir Turtle.
Well, now you learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson. My bad. Sorry, came on for
Doubting you.
for doubting you. But yeah, it's like an idea. It's like with a lot of things in life, it's just like an idea. You just have to say it. It becomes real. The fruition of like an idea turning into like something and changing your surroundings. It's almost like a video game, bro. So it's like, like you say something, you say to your bunch of friends, "Oh, yo, let's do like an anime con like trip. Let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
And then you close your eyes, and then the next thing you know, you turn around, and it's like you're surrounded by like 100,000 people dressed up in anime, and you're looking around. You're like you're looking up in the banners. Oh, I watched that show. Oh, I watched that show. Oh, I know that anime. Oh, I know that person. I see that person on Instagram dressing up. Oh, I know that character. That's one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's merch I see. That's figurines I see. Like, it changes your whole perspective when you actually like go for something. Like it changes your world.
One thing I gotta ask though is, see, like let's say you're in the States, like you live in the States, you have access to like anime cons and definitely smaller ones. You can just drive around the country. But Cayman, we don't have any anime conventions. So when you went to New York, coming from Cayman and actually like being in the world of anime, did that have any play to it that you don't have access to like the figurines and you're not going to see those people cosplaying in Cayman?
Yeah, I would say so. But it's like a cultural thing, I think, because like I remember, I think like anime in itself in Cayman is fairly brand new. It's a brand new thing. I remember being still being in Triple C, being like a senior. People made fun of me watching Naruto and Bleach. Like that was a thing. People got bullied for watching Naruto.
Describe that.
I would watch Naruto like in the senior lounge at in Triple C, and then like people would look at me as like this guy's a nerd.
It's like, but I'm sure they watch SpongeBob SquarePants.
It was almost like, if I could describe the feeling, it was almost like the girls, especially the girls, they almost like looked at me like I was watching like Little Einsteins or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Like it was such a absurd type of like concept for like a young adult watching such a immature like cartoon because they saw anime as a cartoon. People didn't know at the time back then, like which is around 2012, people didn't know the difference between an anime and also a cartoon. Like people were in discussions of like, oh, okay, like it's the same thing. Naruto is a cartoon, it's an animation, right? But it's like culturally it's different. And also like you got things that didn't really help that case of like that argument is like, for example, like Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's clearly like a Western like cartoon with a lot of like anime like traits, which made it very hard for people because it's almost like a cartoon inspired by anime. But yeah, like Yeah, it was very hard watching anime like growing up.
Were you verbally assaulted or physically assaulted for watching it, Naruto or Bleach?
Psychologically.
Psychologically
Like
tortured?
what? Psychologically. Imagine watching like Sasuke versus Naruto like fighting and whatever.
Yeah.
The Mandem is like it's like walking on water. Like
Uh.
walking on water, like running on water, like, you know, because they got chakra in the soles of their feet, like shooting out fireballs and then shooting out kunais and like, you know, having like dark like chakra like all over their body, shooting out lightning and all this type of thing, right? That's cool as hell. That's
Hell
badass.
Sounds
Yeah, but it's like they looked at me like, like even growing up, even my parents like they watched. I remember watching Naruto the first time he transformed as like a fox. I think that was when he was in a hidden mist village. He was fighting against Haiku, right? When he turned into like a demon, my mom looked at me and was like, "You need to stop watching the show because it's like demonic, and it's not right. And you go to church." It was the funniest thing ever, but I was so frustrated. But it's like it kind of showed you like looking back at it now, like retrospectively, like it shows you like how far we came as a society, you know. Like watching anime is like normal. I've seen like corporate like offices, like people have like anime figurines on them. Like it's a natural thing, but it's almost like the generation above us that didn't watch anime would never get it. And that's kind of cool, kind of sad, but also kind of cool. It's almost like our little own bubble. They'll never get it.
They'll never get it.
They'll never get it. People like maybe like 3 to 5 years older than us will never get it.
Brother, I'll tell you straight, I don't get it.
You don't get it?
I don't get it. I respect it, but I don't get it.
Well, as long as you respect it and you're aware of like, I would say it's influence, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's cool. Like you've never watched anime before?
It just doesn't, it's meh. I don't know. It just doesn't go well to me. What do
you watch?
Honestly, these days, like a lot of drama, like HBO.
K-pop.
Oh yeah, K-dramas, reminiscing about Asian love. No, I just watch a lot of dramas these days. The Wire, Sopranos.
Oh,
yeah, that's me.
You like watching real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I love and one point I was gonna make about anime, and when you were describing that whole scene and how people just didn't understand that. But dog, it's funny. It's like these days, describe a scene from Fast and Furious. It's similar.
It's essentially the same thing.
Two cars racing. One flies off a cliff. They jump out. He lands in the plane, and this and that, and it's like, what the fuck? I love Fast and Furious. I love how ridiculous it is.
Like,
let's take this car and drive it out of a building into another building, like sick. Yeah.
On a helicopter with like a hook.
I just love it.
And it like the hook like hooks the back of the car, and it's like flying through at like a perfect angle, and it like goes like
perfect angle,
like safely.
Yeah,
it just lands safely.
And Vin Diesel, he just has a family.
Family's everything. No.
And Corona and the Spanish music.
It's nuts.
I love Fast and Furious. It's so funny.
I think it's all about not perception. It's all about preference, to be honest. Because it's like I know people like you.
Yeah.
Like they don't watch anime whatsoever, and then there's people like me where it's like I rarely watch anything.
I'll say this though. I always thought the manga. I never got it. I just can't digest it.
Yeah.
But I always thought those manga books were cool. I like how like thick they are.
I feel sorry for you. You know what this interview means?
What?
I'm gonna make you watch an anime.
Which one? I tried to get into One Piece.
No. We're not touching that.
And I didn't like it.
We're not touching that.
And then there was this other anime I found, and it was about like these schoolgirls that like shoot people. It was called like Gunslinger Girl.
Oh no, we're not watching that.
Yeah,
we're watching something else.
That's the only two animes I've ever seen. I think I've seen like the odd Naruto episode, but
I think like you'll really heavily if you like action based or something like quick.
Yeah,
I'll definitely recommend Jujutsu Kaisen. If you want something that builds up and is a masterpiece and it's like it'll like rock your world, I'll recommend Attack on Titan.
All right. How about this? For all the people listening, what are, if they have not gotten into anime or dabbling or whatever, what are some animes you would recommend a first timer get into to get your feet wet in the world of anime?
AOT or JJK. Those are the only right answers.
AOT or JJK?
Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen.
All right. Is Gundam considered anime?
Gundam is considered as anime, yes. It's a genre in anime called mecha. So like it's usually those those pilots, they're main characters that are piloting machinery to fight like other robots.
Yeah, like Godzilla and whatnot.
Godzilla isn't a robot, but yeah. but yeah, extraterrestrial threats and all that type of stuff, yes. So that's called mecha. So the thing is with like it's just like every movie, just like, you know, it has a genre. Anime has a genre. There's comedy, there's animes that are seriously into drama, like suspense, like scary stuff, psychological shit, and then there's like action based like anime. You know, there's different pacings as well. There's animes usually for for kids, like psychologically they're not as mature as other animes they call it seinen. I think I'm saying it right, seinen, where it's more for young adults, where it's like it has like deeper meaning when it comes to things that you can't like read in the lines but in between, you know, deep things.
Where does Dragon Ball Z fall in under all of this? Because Dragon Ball Z had a massive influence in Cayman society.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's why I want to know where Dragon Ball Z stands in this. Because it's funny that all those dudes that would psychologically torment you for watching anime, I'm sure were secretly huge Dragon Ball Z heads.
They were actually.
So what's with the hate? Is there beef within the anime community?
No, it's more so like culturally, I would say Caribbean people.
Love Vegeta.
Yes, but also it's almost like the first anime that everyone like absorbed.
Yeah, Cartoon Network
as a kid.
Yeah,
right, and also like it's socially accepted in like many Western cultures, I would say.
And it's, you know, what's interesting about especially that time, this was before like internet was big and social media and all that. So we would all watch TV, and then this time, no matter where you were in Cayman, this time on this channel, I think it was 13, was Cartoon Network, and then you can watch Dragon Ball Z. So culturally, like, we would all watch it. You didn't have to, you know, it wasn't hard to get this. Like these days, kids can watch whatever they want on their phone, you know. But back then, Dragon Ball Z was on at 3:30 or whatever time it was, so it was accessible for everyone in your class to watch it. Where does Dragon Ball Z, is that considered an anime, or is that more like a Western?
It's anime for sure.
Yeah.
But the Western influence is massive, right?
Right.
So it's like it's definitely an anime. It's an action pack like anime. I forgot the term for it, but there's like different terms for it. But basically, it's like a basic anime that they call it like a Shonen Jump anime, where it's like it's almost like a weekly fight thing. So it's like, this is how it works, right? So if it's always like a weekly epic fight, people are more inclined to buy the books to figure out what's happening.
Right.
That's how manga sells. The better the manga sells, the better, or like the faster the adoption of the manga is to turn into anime. That's how it works. It's like, think about like a Harry Potter book, you know. Think about a Harry Potter book, like the better the sales, the faster the adoption, you know.
Yeah. With Dragon Ball Z being very westernized, let's look at it in food terms. Let's say Dragon Ball Z is like China Village, where you can get sweet and sour chicken, right, with fried rice. That's more Western Chinese food. Well, AOT, or is it JJK?
Yeah.
Could be more like Szechuan duck, which is like real Chinese food. And the Westerner might be like, I don't know about this Szechuan duck, right? But I know the sweet and sour chicken. Sweet and sour chicken balls.
Um,
with fried rice. Vegetable spring roll on the side.
you're getting hungry. I know. I feel it, bro.
Yeah.
No, but to answer your question, no, I wouldn't say that. I would say more so like they're all China Village, but it just depends on your mood.
Maybe you want to go a little adventurous.
You wanna do something heavy. You wanna do a meal that will make you like super full. Order the Peking duck, aka AOT. You want to order something that's like safe and also like very good. You ordered a special law may, like
Yeah.
you order DBZ.
I
you
get
want
you.
you want something new, something innovative, something that you just added to the menu. Maybe like a special type of steamed dumpling. Oh, like a soup dumpling. You ever had a soup dumpling?
I think so.
So that's JJK because that's fairly brand new, like in terms of like Asian food.
Yeah. Going to the China Village reference, shout out China Village. Would you say that you say everything is China Village because anime is quite accepted in the Western culture? It's not like this strange foreign thing that only like a few people are into. Like it has a lot of acceptance throughout the many spheres that make up Western culture.
Yeah, it's becoming part of like pop culture for sure.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's a better word for it, pop culture than Western culture.
yeah, anime itself is becoming like almost like it's very very popular in Asia. Whereas like there's like Japan for example, like there's like subways and trains periodically that are like depending on how popular the anime is at the time, like seasonal anime, they'll have like they'll decorate buildings. They'll decorate buildings and they'll decorate trains, they'll decorate public transportation with anime characters. So it's like
That's so cool.
yeah.
And I think that's cool culturally because this is Japan, right? And a lot of these animes, would you say they come from Japan?
Yeah.
I think
mostly.
it's cool when a country like highlights its culture. Even if you look at it from like a bureaucratic standpoint, like to get that you have to go through like the Department of like Transport and speak to the secretary and all this. But
And they have to approve
and
it.
they have to prove this. Like, yeah, hell yeah! Like my kid
yeah.
watches this show. This is sick, And I think it's cool and I think that helps like some like high schoolers see like, hey, like mom, dad, like I want to get into animation. Like I can actually see this as a career because hey, look at these characters. These were created by animes. We're in a train loaded with the design everywhere. So you see it like how Cayman we see like construction and real estate and banking and being a lawyer as cool careers to get to. The Japanese kid can see more like art and storytelling along with the traditional careers of life. Shout out Japanese culture.
Shout out to Japanese culture. Like I think Cayman just needs a few more years because it's like, for example, like they started playing anime movies in Kamana Bay, which was a shock to me the first time I saw it. It's like, what is this? It was a JJK movie.
Right.
I'm like, what is this doing here? It was after I watched like another movie and I'm like, what is this doing here? So I literally I never do this because I hate I hate staying still. So like I literally bought a ticket right after like when I saw when I saw the trailer and everything all posted up, like I'm just like, nah, I have to watch this. And I did. I watched 2 movies that night. But it's like to give you a good comparison because you're fairly like new to anime.
Yeah.
I think a really good comparison would be Marvel. So it's influential like that.
Marvel is like Spider-Man, or is it DC?
Marvel and also DC, but
Yeah.
I would say Marvel's been killing it recently. And
Yeah, I haven't seen any DC and stuff
like
in years.
DC has a lot of iterations and like different versions of things. So it's like it's almost like the movie depends on if the author or director sucks or not. versus like a Marvel movie. A Marvel movie's a Marvel movie, you know.
But what do you mean by like DC is like, okay, who's some bottom barrel director? Let's give him a shot.
No, it's not that. It's almost like almost money based, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna make a Batman movie.
Oh, so it's like it's a new movie of the same thing.
Yeah,
because like, we know Batman movies.
The concept will sell.
Yeah, it's Batman.
Just not a comprehension. What's that word? It's not a translation, but it's like the interpretation of like what Batman is.
Yeah, it's the
like
same.
Heavily like is different per like director. So like I would describe anime as almost like when, because I watch both. Like I would describe anime as like peak anime, like AOT or JJK, is as good as Avengers. It's hype, like, and you'll see, imagine like going to New York or whatever, and then you'll see like trucks with like the Hulk or like Spider-Man or like when Avengers is literally coming out, you'll see that the vinyl signs and the vinyl signs and like the postage and also like the billboards and everything, like, oh, the Marvel movie's playing on Friday.
It's real.
It's real. It's
really
there.
happening.
Times Square, like you see the trailers playing. It's literally like that.
That's what I love about America. Like I remember walking in LA and like someone's album was coming out. I just saw like the billboard for it or like the poster, and it's like, that's sick. Like it's real. It's real.
It's
like
real.
it's really real. Because we just see everything like, oh,
on a screen.
Oh, Drake released a song today. I'm gonna listen to it, but we don't see like a flyer or anything saying Drake new song coming this date.
Right.
Scan the QR code, pre-save it. None of that. You know, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how we can get that into Cayman, but that is a topic for another day, because I want to get into what was it like growing up as a Filipino in the Cayman Islands, especially in the early 2000s.
Oh man.
What did you speak English when you came to Cayman?
No,
I didn't either.
I was like, oh, no, I'm kidding. Nah, I did speak English. It was very difficult. I can't say like a different word. Like there's no synonym for what I'm trying to say. It was very difficult. It was very different.
Culture shock?
No. It wasn't culture shock. It was like being accepted.
Ooh.
It was being accepted, and also being accepted and not being seen as different. I wasn't seen as like a kid. I wasn't seen as like a guy. I was the Filipino person. And it didn't help either when I went to high school.
What was Truth for Youth like? Because I feel like
Truth for Youth
there's not too much ignorance in like the preschool, but I think once you hit puberty, that's when the ignorance comes out.
Not too much ignorance.
In my experience.
Yeah, well, not too much ignorance. Pertaining to your question, not too much ignorance. I did struggle with Truth for Youth though, because I was so advanced that they try to make me skip like 3 to 4 grades, but it's like I was bored. I was very bored. Like I wasn't learning anything. I didn't learn anything in school. Like so I went to Truth for Youth 2nd grade, but I was so advanced. I didn't learn anything new till I was in like 6th grade, which was the last grade for Truth for Youth. So it heavily affected me as a person.
Whoa, they must have been intimidated of you, because like, who is this? You're the same. Would you say you're the same age as all these people in the 2nd grade?
Yeah.
And the school has to go, this fucking kid.
I skipped 1st grade, so I went 2nd grade because like.
Were you the youngest in 2nd grade then?
Close to. The reason being why my parents never wanted me to skip like a lot of grades was because they were afraid of me being bullied because of the age difference.
Yeah, that's
which was very it was very. It was a very good point.
If you're what, 7, 8 in grade 2, and if you're in grade 6 at the age of 8, dog, once puberty hits in grade 7, like, you are getting dogged, you know?
Yeah.
Dang, your parents did the right thing. But
I
what was
think
that
so.
like for you? Because you would have been like, you already know all this.
I think it really heavily influenced me, my personality, I would say. It was the things I learned with myself, like going through that was since I didn't learn anything, it really made me struggle with developing learning habits that would heavily impact me in adulthood, I would say. Because like you can't wing everything. I winged everything.
You wunged it?
Yeah, I winged it. I winged everything. Like I winged everything. Like in Truth for You. I did. I really did, and because like for example, this is a scenario, right? Let's say we're doing like the final exam. You have like 2 hours to do the exam. I'll get it done in 20 minutes, and I'm forced to sit bored as hell. And I guess like it also developed my personality as like, because I was so bored and I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't like mentally I wasn't mentally, what's that word? I wasn't like entertaining myself. I became like a class clown, whereas like, I made my distractions and whatever, and like it was because it's like imagine being bored and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like I became like a class clown, whereas like I did things to see people's reactions and everything.
I get such a kick out of this because in my time in Cayman 27, especially talking about like youth development and whatnot, they will tell me things like class clowns are usually the kid that's so far behind, but it's that insecurity of everyone knowing that he's so far behind. So he disrupts the class, make everyone laugh. So no one realizes that Johnny can't read or Johnny can't write. Right. But here you are, well read and well written, so much so it's like, well, here's a fart joke.
Yeah, it's...
Or pull my finger.
Yeah, I was crazy. Then it developed into like behavioral like issues where it's like, you know, I always got into like fights and everything, and just like
being that bored.
Just talking, like distracting people and everything. But I remember hitting 6th grade. There was a turning point, whereas like no, it was 6th grade. It was 7th grade. It was like one of my high school teachers, which is Miss Sonia Gordon in Triple C. She said to me, "Eric, you're so selfish."
Wait, this is in Triple C.
This is in Triple C.
So you left Truth for Youth.
I left Truth for I graduated. So sorry for
that's all right. No, that's why I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. But it's like
You're so selfish.
Yeah. That's what I learned. Like through my earlier years, like. My teacher said to me, "You're so selfish," and I'm like, at the time it like kind of stung me. I'm just like, what is this woman talking about? Like selfish? I didn't do anything selfish, but then it was way deeper than that. I realized, like,
quick thing: are you an only child?
I was, yeah.
During that time.
Yeah, during that time. Right. Yeah. And it's like, what I learned was like she was correct. She was correct. What she saw was I was so like I didn't need to study because I got everything that I read. I was that type of person. After I figured out or grasped the concept or like the lesson for the day, I started talking a lot and distracting other people that weren't in the same level as me, which is me distracting the class. So I hindered their learning process. Dang. It took me a few years to get what she said, and I realized when it hit me, I'm just like, damn. Like that's crazy. Like I felt so bad. I felt so guilty because I remember I had some close friends like in high school that were struggling with math. And then like the fact that I actually was I was a factor in that, like it made me feel like a way for sure.
Dang.
Like I'm just like shit.
When
like,
did what was that like when that hit you, that reality check? Hold on, how old were you? Were you still in high school at the time?
Yeah, I was in high school at the time. I think I was like 16 when my brain was developing slow. Yeah, like at 16 it hit me. I'm just like, wow, like I'm a piece of shit. Like that's crazy.
Dang. What hit? Were you just walking down and he's like, you know what? I really have been distracting a lot of people recently. Like,
It was almost like a eureka moment. Like I thought about it
just randomly.
because like this is a math class, right?
Yeah.
So in high school, my average math grade was like 109, 112, 112, 109.
What percent?
Yeah, because I did like, they had like they have bonus questions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I did those for fun. Like I knew I got everything right in the exam. Let me do like the bonus question for fun.
Yeah.
Just to challenge myself, and I did. Yeah, like that realization definitely hit me hard. I'm not gonna lie, like it was crazy, but it was good. Like it made me more considerate of others, for sure. And of course, like that's a big contrast being like an only child.
Yeah.
Where it's like like I was born to like just me. But it's like once you learn how to like, once you learn that side, it's like, oh, okay. Let me not talk as much.
Yeah.
Let me not socialize as much. Let me just like keep to myself for a bit.
I get you. I gotta ask, what were your parents like towards you during your time in education? Even though you're top in the class and whatnot, would they still drill it in like, yo, you gotta read this, you gotta do this? Or did they just kind of leave you since you were excelling so much?
Asian parents are like something else.
Yeah, I know. I believe me, I personally know, but I just wanted to know what it was like for you, because if you want to look at like stereotypical Asian parents never being impressed even at a 99, here you are with 110%. Like Asian dad must have been like, what? That's badass, my son.
It wasn't
enough. You had to get 125%.
You
already completed.
It wasn't like that. It was almost like expected.
We expect you to get 110%.
No, well, not that, but it's like as expected. It would have been a problem, like at the time. It would have been a problem if I had like any grades that started with an 8, which was like a B plus, like an 89 or something. That's an issue.
Define that issue for those who don't know the joys of Asian parents.
So let's say I got like English was my weakest subject for sure.
Yeah.
Let's say for English, like honors English, I got like an 89.
Mm-hmm.
That's equivalent to us like sitting at the dinner table talking about my grades and like me needing to focus and me not being able to go to Cayman Bay till I get that fixed.
An 89.
Yeah.
Out of 100. 11 off.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it made me like, I'm not a perfect human being, right?
Yeah.
And like sometimes I slip and sometimes I was capable, like, listen, they were correct, right? They tried their best at the time. I was capable of doing what they wanted me to do, but it's like I was so like distracted with like other things.
Yeah.
And like me not learning anything like was a big component to me being just like a class clown and being distracted and doing this and that and focusing on like things that really didn't matter at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, yeah, like imagine like missing like the big Cayman Bay event, missing Cayman Bay weekends when you were in high school, where it's like it was like the biggest thing. It was the only thing to do on island, but you missed it because your teacher didn't upgrade your report card because they were just busy, like because they're people.
I gotta ask though, you said it was it was hard for you to like be accepted and whatnot. Do you think, especially in your teenage years, not being able to go to Cayman Bay because you were 5 points shy off of like 100% or whatnot, how did that affect you? Because you damn near got 100%, right? But this is like your way to like hang out with people and like maybe I'm just speaking correct me if I'm going wrong, but like, build those relationships and get that acceptance. But do you think that not getting the grades your parents wanted and them taking away from you, that like affected you negatively?
Yes, 100% for sure. But the end of the day, like, they were very critical of me. I think the word critical, like, imagine the word critical, bold, italic, red, font size 49. That's that.
Out of 12?
Yeah, out of 12, yes. Very, yeah.
What's the font? Impact, not Times New Roman?
No, not Times Roman. Maybe Times Roman. Times Roman could work.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick Lamar type thing, But yeah, it's like they were very critical of me. But looking back at it, it's like, I think that things happen for a reason, and I'm thankful. I'm not like a vengeful type of person. Well, I'm okay. I don't see it that way. Let me correct myself. Things happen for a reason, right? And I think like if I wasn't locked up, if I wasn't locked up at home not doing anything, I wouldn't have gotten into gaming. And gaming is a big part of my life where it's like, I developed like this and that, Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, we'll get into
everything.
Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
I want to know though, what was it like, especially in your teenage years, like just being in Cayman, being a teenager, being from the Philippines? Could you talk about like the struggles
sure.
And the successes?
Okay.
I just one thing I want to understand, and I think there's just this big cloud over like the Philippine Cayman, the Philippine Cayman connection. Your parents moved here seek of a better life, but you were developed here. Well, you from 5 onwards. So yeah. So what was that like, especially in your teenage years?
Okay, I'll tell you a story.
All right.
I'll tell you a story. I know you like stories.
I love stories.
Need to tell about stories. But imagine this. First day at Triple C. They have they have mass or like hall, like in the mornings where like people like gather in like the gymnasium and then they do worship or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? First day, the principal says to everyone, "Hey guys, we have a new student. Our first Filipino student. Please stand up." I was so shocked when that happened. And I literally got up and...
Well, please stand. You had to stand up.
Yeah, I had to stand up.
In front of the whole school.
Yeah, bro.
And you're
in
grade 7.
You know what I mean? Where it's like the guy's like outspoken. He has like army uniform. And like everyone's like staring at him. That was me, bro. That was me. Like, I wish I could meme about it, but it was me. They told me to stand up because I was Filipino. And I think they try to be helpful. I mean, I can't fault them for that because things were very different back then, like politically and like culturally. Yeah. But it's like they told me to stand up. It's like, "Oh, look, everyone, this is our first Filipino student." And I'm just like...
What is this, like a zoo exhibit?
It felt that way. For sure. It felt that way. And I'm just like, I was just standing up there and then I never used to smile all the time. I was very like grumpy and I just sat back down. But I almost felt like it was nuts. Because instead of like being in a pedestal like that, like the fact that they made me stand up, it made a lot of people assume things. It made a lot of people expect things of me.
Ooh, what did they expect? That you'd be good at math? I'm just thinking of all Asian stereotypes.
Good at math, good at grades, probably lame.
Bad driver.
Bad driver.
It's just funny. Like these
bad
kids,
driver. Like
these kids find like the school introduces you as the first Filipino, right, to ever come to the school. Yeah. Like, and these kids instantly assume things. I just find that hilarious. Like, what are you gonna assume? Like, what?
No, kids are evil, bro. Yeah, like in high school and stuff, kids are evil. But it's like, it's just like
they probably just instantly assume the worst.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, think about it this way, right? Imagine you like having like to all the listeners there, like imagine you having like a new Filipino like coworker.
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of you're expecting a lot of things. They're expecting a lot of for example, Tupperware food, for example, food that's kind of smelling kind of weird, eating weird shit.
Yeah.
Having telling me my favorite thing is rice, telling me
do kids come up to you like, hey,
and whatever.
By any chance, do you like rice and karaoke?
Oh no, but they told me I ate dog, so
they told you.
Yeah, I what oh, you're Filipino, you eat dog, and you're this and that and whatever, and it's in terms of
wait, they told you, they didn't ask. And what I'm saying is, did they ask?
Okay, this
hey.
is by the way, guys, I'm just I'm laughing at this. It's not serious anymore. Well, before it was serious, yeah. But imagine walking in the hallway, right, and you hear, they're literally stuff like that,
oh
you know.
My God.
It's crazy, it's nuts, and it's usually
ignorance.
It's usually the high schools have a hierarchy.
Yes, they do.
The bullies, so the athletes, so it's the brethrens and the people that play football and thing, you know.
Yeah.
So it's they're usually the ones that they hit heavy with when it comes to the bullying and everything. But it's usually,
and the whole school has their back because who do we depend on to help us beat the prep kids at football?
Yeah. Who's gonna help Triple C beat St. Ignatius, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
gonna be John Smith.
Yeah, you have to count on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can't give him a detention.
No.
He has a game.
There's only one Filipino student.
Yeah.
We have a whole season to win.
Yeah, a whole season to win. Yeah, it's comical. It's comical talking about this now, but it's things like that. You know, it's
How did that make you feel, though? Joking aside.
Bad.
Did you feel that there was no one that had your back?
At the time, because people couldn't relate to me. Because he just told me, Eric, just ignore it. Eric, just ignore it. Eric, just ignore it.
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done, for sure.
Yeah.
When it's up in your face and everything, right? Yeah. And fast forward, this happened a few years ago. Disclaimer, I was a council executive for a political member here for CDP, right?
Shout out the CDP.
Shout outs to...
No.
No, but at the time, it's I wanted to have okay, this is how it started. So I got into a lot of extracurricular activities which affected my grades.
Yeah.
But I got into JA.
Yeah.
I was the
Junior achievement.
Yeah. Right? So I was president of Butterfield, for example. That company flopped, unfortunately, but I did a great opening speech. Shout outs to Jonathan Fraser for hyping me up. But it's at the same time, I got into LA, which is Youth Legislative Assembly.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Why LA? I think.
Why LA?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I was the leader of the opposition.
Oh.
Representing West Bay, I was like that. But
that's exactly what you were.
Yeah, but. So I think with me is sometimes I may take a while to gather up my thoughts, but I think I know how to articulate myself in an okay manner, I would say. I understand people good. I think social awareness is I'm good at being socially aware, and understanding people deeper than a lot of people, But yeah, so I wanted to get into politics when I was in UCCI, and I wanted something more. I said, is this feasible? Is this something that I could do? How is a Filipino, a person that doesn't even have his Cayman papers yet, doing politics?
That's badass.
I said, you know what? Let me try.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let me try. And the end of that, which is cool.
Yeah.
One of my references for my Cayman status was Bernie Bush.
Shout out Bernie.
Shout out to Bernie, coolest guy ever. So
do you think you got that recommendation because they saw you wanting to be a part of the community? Because you weren't just sticking to yourself. You were an active member in YLA. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not YLA. I wouldn't say is something you joke around with. Mm-hmm. It's not tennis.
Yeah.
Or sport. Like you have to, it's nerdy sport, politics, because you have to read, you have to know data, you have to know what the other people are doing to counteract, you have to look at trends, crime statistics, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. I was focusing at the time because my sister's special needs.
Yeah.
I was focusing at the time like how special needs is severely lacking in Cayman. One of the statistics I pulled was there was only 3 occupational therapists for like 3,000 kids.
These are old stats.
These are old stats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
At the time.
At the time. Very
so
important.
So there's a 3. So three occupational therapists shared between the sister islands, and what that comes with is like there's a lot of kids that they call it maladapting. So for example, let's say there's a kid that physically like let's say there's a kid that physically like let's say is physically rough or hurts other kids versus another kid that let's say has like a certain stutter. If
like a speech impediment.
Is a speech impediment. Yeah. So if they share like an environment or like a classroom close enough, then sometimes they'll adopt each other's like bad habits if they're not separated properly. So things like that, like that got me the best speech award when I started talking about that with Legislative Assembly. But the reason why I brought it up, right, circling back, the reason why I brought it up was, so I got into CDP, and I remember doing a rally by A.L. Thompson's for
that's where the big rally is. Is this the 2017 election?
I don't think it was the 2017, but like before.
So the 2013.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
All right.
Around there.
Because A.L. Thompson is like, that's where the big rallies go down.
Where they distribute the hot dogs and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I actually was eating a hot dog. At the time, like I got my Cayman status. I'm good. I feel great. You know, like I feel proud like, of the country and whatever. Right. And then it's like.
So you had the CDP rally.
CDP rally. So
eating a hot dog.
Yeah. So, sus. And then like I had all the other council members and everything just like behind me and everything. They're sorting out things and like just helping people.
You're on the council?
I was on a council, yes.
On a council. So like on
a council,
like a board, so to speak.
Like a board, yeah.
All right.
To empower the CDP.
The party in general or a specific candidate?
The party in general.
All right.
But we service like all of the candidates.
Okay.
So like I did like video work, I did like some marketing.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Gotcha.
I did interviews and all that type of stuff, yeah.
Edited and all.
Editing. It was bad at the time because I remember I had a Sony Alpha 5000 and like I didn't have a mic back then. Ooh, it was very rough. I was interviewing people, like I remember like flying around the island interviewing people, but then when I got the footage and I got to review them, shit. Like audio was bad. So they're really bad.
What'd you do?
And then I'll tell them like, hey, can we reshoot? It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad back then. But no. But I did some audio enhancers and everything. Noise. I call it denoiser. Denoiser. So like it was good. It was possible, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't. I have high expectations of myself, so I didn't I didn't perform as well as I wanted, but it is what it is. I performed with what I had.
Yeah.
But the reason we're saying all of this is like at that rally. This is the story. At that rally. What really hit me hard was I remember I was a council executive, right? And then there's this guy, I was eating a hot dog and then I had some chips and whatever. And then there's this guy that came up to me. It was an elderly Caymanian guy, like a fisherman type guy.
Yeah.
Because he was wearing fishing gear and everything. Had like a straw hat and everything. He said, "You effing Filipino, what the F are you doing here?" And then I was just like, "Sir, I'm a council executive here. Like, I'm helping out." And he's like, "What the hell are you doing here? You here for free food, Natru? You here for free food?" And I'm just like, "No, like I'm trying to make a change for the better, I'm trying to help Cayman out.
Make Cayman great again."
Yeah, make Cayman great again. And then like he looked at me, he's like, "Yeah? Who you live, who you for? Who you voting for?" And I was just like then at the time I was just like shut down. It's just like am I really experiencing this? Like, I'm a council executive. Like, what? Like, like, huh? Like, oh, that's insane.
Yeah, and one thing about politics is it's not a paid gig. So like
Yeah.
for you being a council executive, like you were there because you want to be there,
Yeah.
and you put in all that work to have that title.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It was crazy, right? And it's like, and then the other council members saw what was happening. It was like a big ruckus because the man was shouting at my face.
Jeez and peace.
It wasn't like a subtle type thing. It was a scene.
Oh no!
It was a scene. People didn't really say anything, and my council members like, "Yo, Eric, just ignore him. Just ignore him."
It's kind of hard to ignore someone who's swearing to your face.
To this day, bro, like I'll tell you, like the reason why I said this story is like, to this day, I still feel something about it. And to answer your question, looping everything with all this build up, to this day, I feel like I don't know what it is to be Caymanian because people look at me differently.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, but that's fuck, man. That's hard to hear.
Yeah, because I'm different. Bless the guy. Like, maybe he saw when he looked at me externally, I was like different. But then like, I kind of just accepted it where it's like, okay, like I am different.
I mean, for me, how I know you, I mean, you are a member of the community, the company, your family company.
Yeah.
You guys sponsor events. You're definitely invested in the community. You guys, for example, you have a sports team, right? You recently started another business, right? You're not like an isolated dude. You are actually, and going back to forget your family's businesses and their impact in the community. Even look at you at a young age being in the political field. No, you wanted to be there. You wanted to be a part of a vehicle to make Cayman a better place.
Yeah.
And to know your accomplishments and to know like you were there. You were in the Young Legislative Assembly. You were leader of the opposition. You weren't a backbencher, right? You definitely for me, I consider you Caymanian.
Thank you, Ben. Because
of the work that you have done. And you were integrated. And that's the big thing. You were integrated in the community. So I don't know. I understand where you're coming from, but I just want to say from where I'm coming from, based on how you've integrated in the society, you're one of us.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like, thank you for that, Philip. I appreciate that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, to make this a bit lighter is like, I'll get over it one day.
One day.
I'll get over it one day. Just not today. Not today, Bobo.
Is this what you were saying about how Filipinos will hold on to some bad feelings for like 3 to 6 months?
I mean, like, yo, listen, like, nah, that really affected my psyche for sure.
Yeah.
But then I started linking, like, like I said, I'll get over it one day, just not today. It's like, it started. I started linking with things like, for example, like you like. I understand people. Like, I read body language very well, right? It's like little things, like, bro, like. Well, it's not pervasive. It's not as much anymore, like today, but like maybe like a few years ago, I would just walk in like Hurley's. People will look at me different because I'm different, But then it's getting better for sure because Cayman is like like there's a lot of racists in Cayman now for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts, right? So
where do you think I guess we can get in? Where do you think that comes from? I think there was a time. I think there was always this level of ignorance anywhere you go, but I have a feeling there was a time that things were cool. But now, just based on the societal trends, with Caymanians being the minority in our own country, the high cost of living, what you hear on talk radio about the job market, I think that those things condition people to view view the Filipino or the Englishman or the Canadian or the man from Nepal as like an enemy. Someone who's here to take what's quote unquote supposed to be theirs.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely resonate with that because
Yeah.
I feel a certain way when I see like
Conditioned to ignorance.
yeah.
Because that's where it comes down from. Because like I'm explaining like different things, but I don't think an ignorant person would be like, I don't like this guy because of this, that, and the other. I think they just look at you as like, oh, here to take my job or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I say that in the most ignorant way possible.
Yeah, I mean, like, but like to the Caymanians, like, I get how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
I understand because it's like when Chinese people are buying out when Chinese people is buying out the Philippines and opening up like streets and villages of like buildings of like people with only Chinese signs and no Filipino words whatsoever. I feel a certain way, you know. It's okay to I definitely understand how it is to feel patriotic and also like in that essence also territorial. I get it. Like I understand, I get it. You know, it's a difficult situation because it's like Cayman as a country is developing. Like we're very like I used to do compliance for like a law firm here, and the invisible money, I would call it invisible money that's coming in Cayman in terms of hedge funds and offshore entities and people opening up structures and stuff like that. Like, listen, when I took on that job, that's when I realized, yeah, Cayman is rich.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you think Cayman, like we're not gonna be in the financial position as we're at now if you're just looking at the physical aspect. Like if you're looking at Camana Bay, if you're looking at the buildings in Cayman, that's like maybe 4% of what Cayman it really has.
Yeah, we owe, and the U.S. has so much debt out, right? But we're number 6 on that debt. I wonder who we're gonna send to go get it.
Yeah.
But we own 6%. We're number 6 in debt. USOs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, us.
Small little
us,
Cayman.
dog. The size of some small town.
Olan is soft, fresh breezes.
That's us,
yeah,
bo.
Us, yeah, bo. West Bay, bo.
Exactly. That's who we'll send. We'll send every man from West Bay to go get our money.
Yeah, we're gonna get our money back. We will. Boy, West Bay, man.
Kamala Harris, you listening?
Oh my God.
Pay
Kamala
your debts.
Harris. Yo, bless Kamala Harris. And
you
her
wanted
voters.
to talk about U.S. politics. So we've hit an hour and 37 minutes.
I'm ready for 6 more hours, JK.
Yeah, we can do
Whatever
it.
feels natural, you know. But like,
wait, where were we? We were in Cayman developing.
Yeah, Cayman
let's
developing.
stay on that,
Yeah.
and then we'll get into.
But yeah,
other stuff.
like in a cultural sense, it's very difficult to find like a remedy with that because I think it's like growing pains. You know, like I think the future generations of Caymanians won't see race as a big deal versus like now because like the boom is like insane.
Yeah, the boom is insane.
The boom is insane when it, especially with hospitality and everything. You know, it's like, of course, I like listen, like Caymanians, like people like us, right?
Yeah.
I understand, I get it. It's like imagine going to like a hotel and not seeing any natives there, and like imagine like the tourist people, like the tourists telling you, "Oh, you're the first local I've ever spoke to." Like whatever, do you guys like work here or whatever? Blah 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 blah. That's common speak. You know, like it's that's a regular thing people say here. Like oh, you're the first local I've ever seen. We've been here for 2 weeks type shit.
That's wild.
Like, it's normal. Like, I've heard it before. Like, you know? Like I get it. Like, it's frustrating for sure. But I'm very...
what do you think the remedy to that is?
Like, getting to that is like... my lenses are very blue. I'm very optimistic, I would say. We will... I don't have the one solution. I don't have the antidote. But, like... I believe in Cayman as a society that we will get it.
I believe in it too.
I think the remedy though, like if I could like put a pin on it, would be time. We will understand each other more as time progresses.
Thank you for listening to another episode of World Talk. If you or someone you know is going through distressing time, please seek professional help.